In space, no one can hear you scream. Or can they? Sometimes the universe serves up some pretty horrifying scenarios. Lucky we're safe here on Earth, right? Welcome to Fact Nominal, and we're showing you just how terrifying the universe can be in scary but true space facts. Galactic cannibalism, straight out of a sci-fi great horror. It's not just people that eat each other. There are many cases in the universe where a galaxy can collide with another one, or even with multiple galaxies. Research has found that larger galaxies collide with smaller ones every 8 to 9 billion years. Our universe is on track to collide with the Andromeda galaxy in about 4 billion years, almost certainly destroying all life forms in our galaxy. Just something to look forward to. No sound in space. Contrary to what many Hollywood films may have you believe, there is no sound in space due to there being no particles for sound to bounce off. Space is completely silent. The only exception would be if you were in the middle of a fairly dense gas cloud. It's so quiet. If you were able to float through space, unaffected by the radiation, extreme cold, and lack of oxygen, the silence would drive you mad. Rogue planets. Sometimes planets like to go rogue and escape the gravity of their parent stars. This doesn't sound too scary until you learn that these planets can be, like several times the size of Jupiter, rocketing through space at millions of miles per hour. At some point, one of these planets may collide with Earth, and it goes without saying, it will be pretty catastrophic. Loose skin falls off in space. Yeah, this fact might really scare the germaphobes out there. It turns out, after about a month in orbit, chunks of your feet actually start falling off. Calluses and dead skin just start floating off your foot after a while. Yeah, no thanks. The biggest planet in the universe. So, Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, but it's actually dwarfed by the size of the largest planet astronomers have found out there. The Dennis P planet is about twice the mass of Jupiter. It's currently classified as a gas giant, just like our Jupiter, but a lot of astronomers suggest it should probably be classified as a brown dwarf star because of its massive size. The hottest and brightest supernova. Well, a supernova happens when a star dies and explodes, expelling an enormous amount of light, heat, and radiation. The assassin LH is the hottest and most luminous supernova astronomers have ever found. At current measurement, the explosion reached about 200 billion Kelvin. And just for comparison, Earth's temperature is about 300 Kelvin. Floating space corpses. In the early days of space travel, many animals, including cats, dogs, and even a chimpanzee, were sent up to the great unknown. Some of these animals, and, well, some humans too, didn't make it back, joining the thousands of tons of space junk hurling around our planet. And if that's not creepy enough, without oxygen, bodies don't decompose, so this means space is littered with floating, frozen corpses. White holes. Theoretically, it's possible for white holes to exist in space. They're basically the opposite of black holes, in that nothing can enter into a white hole from the outside. Everything, including light, can escape from them. There are actually theories that every galaxy has a supermassive black hole at its center, and every supermassive black hole spawns a white hole. What happens when you fall into a black hole? We've all heard of black holes, but what would actually happen if you were to fall into one? There are only theories as to what would happen. One theory is that it may split your reality into two parts. In one part, you'll be spaghettified and killed immediately, and in the other, you're unharmed. This is because time doesn't work the same near black holes as it does on Earth. Either way, I wouldn't try it if I were you. So, the Big Crunch. It's theorized that, opposite to the Big Bang which started the universe, it may all end with the Big Crunch. This theory suggests that the universe will start to shrink and collapse back to its earliest state. But, you know, the Big Rip theory suggests the universe won't stop expanding, and at some point, everything will be torn apart at an atomic level. Sounds like fun, right? The Dark Flow. 1 minute you're a galaxy just chilling at the edges of the universe, and the next you're sucked into, well, who knows where. There's this phenomenon called the dark flow that keeps pulling chunks of galaxies into unknown places, and honestly, we don't know why. It's very reassuring, isn't it? Unexpected meteors. So, people were actually injured after a meteorite exploded in Russia. Turns out, meteors can just fall at any moment and rain down on Earth, causing massive destruction, and we might not even know until it's like too late. Sometimes, the sky really is falling. 13. So, the moon will leave us. Every year, the moon gets about 4 centimeters farther away from the Earth. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but honestly, it could have devastating effects in the distant future, implicating tides, water levels, and potentially even slowing down the speed of Earth's rotation. Venus is, dangerous. While Mars is seen as somewhat inhabitable by humans, one planet we definitely won't be visiting anytime soon is Venus. As it turns out, the surface temperature is around 460 degrees Celsius. Its atmospheric pressure is about 90 times that of Earth, and it's constantly raining down acid rain. So I really don't think it will be a popular holiday destination, even once we get the technology to go there. The death of our solar system. Yeah, we've looked at theories of how our universe will end, but what about our own solar system? One day, when the sun's hydrogen is gone, it'll expand into a red giant and just consume our solar system, destroying it completely. Better pack that SPF billion, right? Okay, so, space without a spacesuit. If you ventured out into space without a suit, you would last at most a few seconds before losing consciousness from lack of oxygen. That's if you're lucky. If you don't expel all the air from your lungs, you'll die within seconds from the vacuum rupturing your lungs. So if you find yourself floating through the vastness of space without a spacesuit, I really wouldn't hold my breath. Now, let's talk about Celt B. Celt B is, honestly, the hottest planet we've found outside our solar system. Its surface temperature is about 4,000 kelvins, just shy of the 5,700 Kelvin temperature of our Sun. This planet gets its red-hot summers from its close orbit to its parent star, Celt. Moving on to the average temperature of space. Scientists have worked out that the net temperature of space is essentially zero. To be precise, it's around minus 270 degrees Celsius, or minus 454 degrees Fahrenheit. That comes out to about 2.7 Kelvin, with absolute zero or the coldest physical temperature possible, being 0 Kelvin. And if you go outside at night, you'll usually find a sky full of stars, most of the time anyway. However, this might not always be the case. According to various scientists, in a matter of 1 trillion years from now, the sky at night will go totally black forever. So, 8. The average temperature of space. Scientists have worked out that the net temperature of space is essentially zero. To be precise, it's around minus 270 degrees Celsius, or minus 454 degrees Fahrenheit. That comes out to about 2.7 Kelvin with absolute zero, or the coldest physical temperature possible, being 0 Kelvin. 7. The night sky will get dark forever. If you go outside at night, you'll usually find a sky full of stars. Most of the time, anyway. However, this may not always be the case. According to various scientists, in a matter of 1 trillion years from now, the sky at night will go totally black. Forever. 6. Even if there are aliens, we may never find them. With the trillions and trillions of stars in the universe, most of which contain planets, it's almost impossible that there aren't extraterrestrials out there somewhere. However, we haven't found them yet, and honestly, we might never find them. This is because galaxies are moving away from each other, meaning without faster-than-light travel, intergalactic exploration may not be possible. Solar superstorms. These are intense events where rising loops of electrified gas, reaching hundreds of thousands of kilometers high, could wipe out Earth's communication satellites and disrupt aircraft technology. We are actually due for one soon too, since they occur once every 1 or 200 years, with the last one hitting Earth in 1859. The survival rate of space. Out of all the people who have gone to space, some have never made it home. That is, honestly, a pretty bad survival rate, making space travel the most dangerous mode of transportation so far. Still, space travel is definitely becoming much safer than it used to be. So, about dark matter. Here's something wild. We've only witnessed less than 5% of the matter the universe is made of, with the rest being dark matter and dark energy that, well, we just can't see or understand yet. Until we figure out what dark matter is all about, there's still so much to learn about the material makeup of the universe. Rogue black holes. Yeah, if rogue planets didn't sound scary enough, there are rogue black holes as well, in fact. Quasars. So, quasars are some of the most powerful celestial objects we currently know of. These celestial objects are found at the center of many active galaxies, and honestly, they're the most powerful, energetic, and luminous objects we know of. Just to give you an idea, one quasar emits more than 1,000 times the energy of our Milky Way.